Depression has set up a room in your mind rent-free. It's trying to take over. It's giving you a constant barrage. You're like, is there anything that I can do to break free? Well, we're going to talk in this video today about taking your thoughts captive. I'm here to help you take back control of your mind. Stay tuned.
I'm the CEO, it's Mega Chop, you already know.
We're going to talk about a way for you to take back control of your mind. We're going to serve depression an eviction notice. It's not welcome. It needs to get up out of here. And we're going to look at ways to do that. We're going to be talking about taking your thoughts captive, which is an incredible tool that you can use to help you take back control of your mind. I want to be clear though, this isn't some magic fix. It's not quick. It's going to take determination, work, and a decision that you don't want to be pinned down by depression for the rest of your life. Now, the ideas that we're going to talk about in this video, I'm sure are going to leave you with some additional questions. And I want to make sure that you know I'm here to support you, not only through this content, but also you can come and talk with me live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings over on Twitch at twitch.tv/megachopceo. I welcome you to stop by and ask any questions that you may have. So in this video, like I said, we're going to be talking about taking your thoughts captive. So we're going to look at an example of what this looks like. We're going to talk about, again, why we're here, where we even need to take our thoughts captive. And we're going to talk a little bit behind this to help you understand how this works and that it works. So what the heck do I mean by taking your thoughts captive anyways? We're going to start by taking a look at a phrase that most people who battle depression have in their mind and really accept as part of their identity, and that's the statement that they fail at everything. I know that's something that I directly battled with, and I know a lot of the people that I've talked with who battle depression, they struggle with that, feeling like they just fail at everything. And this is a lie. This is one of depression's favorite lies because it makes you feel like no matter what you do, you can't get it right, which helps you stay stuck in depression. We need to decide that this isn't going to control my life. This is building on that concept of the depression thought train that we talked about in the last video, that there's a thought that we had that's made it through our mental process so far that we don't even think about it anymore. It's just part of our identity. We've accepted that I'm a failure. That's just who I am. And that's not true. Now, we need to get ourselves to a healthier spot to be able to help combat this. And that's to work this out of our identity. And the best way to do that is to take a multifaceted approach. We need to start looking at the different areas that we are successful. And if we're deep in that, I'm a failure at everything, and that's all we ever see, we're gonna need to start out with small successes. Like I woke up for the day. I ate today, I fed myself, I showered. Celebrate each of these wins. It may seem crazy and small, like why am I doing this? But if we're at a point where we believe we're a failure at everything, we need to start learning what our successes are. And we're going to build upon these. Obviously, it goes from there. You wrote another page in the book that you're writing. You completed that project at work. You took the kids to an amusement park and you didn't break down. Whatever the case may be, these wins are going to build to bigger wins to prove that you're not a complete failure at life, because not even knowing you, I can tell you unequivocally that that is a lie. And the truth is, you're not a failure at everything in life. But the difficult part is, when we accept our identity as a failure in life, that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You keep saying, I'm a failure, I'm a failure, I'm a failure. You're causing yourself to fail more. I was causing myself to fail more. The more we speak that over ourselves, it's going to be true. And on top of that, any successes that we have, we're going to highlight all of the failures that were along that journey more than the actual successes. So that's the importance of us starting to retrain this. And we're going to have to take baby steps and basically reverse engineer to get ourselves out of these thought processes. Now, I know I took a really big one. I fail at everything, but it's important that we take something that I would say all people who battle depression can grasp onto and be like, yes, I get that. But this process, this strategy that we're going to use applies to everything that you come across. Whether you feel like you're a failure as a spouse or a parent or head of PTA meetings, anything that you have that you grasp onto that you're like, I'm terrible at this. You've accepted that as your identity, and we need to retrain that. So, how do you reverse engineer? It's kind of like if you built a big Lego structure, you don't go back to the original piece that you took out because it's buried under there. You got to find it. The same thing works with our mental structure. We've come up with a process over the years and we've buried the original source of it. So now we've got to work backwards to find out where's the source of this so that we can dig that out. We can capture it, take that captive, take these lies captive, take this bad training captive. And this is really a take no prisoners kind of thing. We're taking it captive to kill it, to be done with it. And that's going to be a good thing because these are all negative thoughts that we're battling. So we need to get to the root of it, kill it, and then replace it with good thoughts. So how do we do that? We need to replace the bad thoughts with good thoughts. To build upon this, taking your thoughts captive, before we talk about how we do it, another term that's used in the mental health field is cognitive behavioral treatment, which basically means that we need to take these thoughts that are bad and replace them, retrain ourselves in a positive manner. We need to retrain our behavior. This is a very common practice that's used all across. I call it something different because I feel like it has more weight, it has more meaning. Like cognitive behavioral treatment, cool, it's a fancy word, but we need to take those thoughts captive, capture them, kill them, be done with them, put them in the past, move on. We're moving forward new. So how do we do that? So we have a scenario. Say we're helping a child or a friend with homework, and we realize that, this was my weak point. I don't even really know how to do this. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Write a note. Their teacher has to help them at school tomorrow. You're like, man, I wanted to be the one to be able to help them. I'm such a failure. Why can't I get anything right? I'm terrible at this. So you need, in that moment, now that we've recognized and we're moving into this, knowing that we need to retrain, we're already past, we're really through the scenario, and it's too late to get to the root of it, but that's okay. We're at the right spot because we're thinking about it right after it happened. And we need to be like, wait a minute, okay, this is one of those thoughts that's in that failure path. This is the bad thought train that I need to figure out, how did I even get here? And it came with feeling inadequate helping someone with their homework. Okay, so the feeling of inadequacy if we recognize that feeling come up again in a future scenario, we need to snag it right there and be like, okay, wait a minute. I remember this feeling. I'm not going to get to the point where I say I'm a total failure. Or maybe we're starting to say that we're a total failure, but we're like, wait a minute, no, that's not okay. What got me here? Okay, feeling of inadequacy, track it back a little bit further, and maybe there's a past scenario or a situation that's burned in our brain that was difficult to deal with that made us feel that way. And every single time we come across a scenario that gives us that feeling of inadequacy, that feeling of failure, we need to dig in deeper. And we need to say, what is bringing this on? What is causing this? And every time we come across that, we're working back and back and back. And it may take a lot of these scenarios before we finally get to the root cause of what is always making me feel like a failure at everything. What is making me feel inadequate? And when we get to that root, we can finally deal with it. Maybe it had something to do with a teacher or someone in our childhood, and there was a scenario that made us feel like a failure, made us feel inadequate, and that's where we learned this thought process that skips from crap, I messed up, to I'm a complete failure at everything. But now we can take that situation, maybe we can talk to that person, maybe we can't get in touch with them, but there are ways that we can deal with that. And as a matter of fact, I think that should be one of our upcoming videos where we talk about, okay, we've got to the root. Now, what do we do with that root? I mean, we have to replace those thoughts with healthier ones of, I am successful. I did do this. I won. I made it to the point of what's causing all this pain. And now I can deal with that. That is a massive win. And every step that we worked back on that journey needs to be celebrated because it's working towards the end goal. And believe me, this is a lifelong journey of retraining these. It's not going to be easy. I've been working on retraining myself for years, 10 plus years. There are so many things that I have retrained in my brain, that I have rewired in my brain. I could give you countless examples of things that I have learned and what ultimately was at their root and how I rooted them out and made it to where I am today. It wasn't overnight. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, and deciding, you know what? No, this isn't going to control my life anymore. This is going to be different starting today. And I want that for you. And I want to be a part of your journey. So please, if you have any thoughts, questions, ideas, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, you can come and talk to me live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings over on Twitch at twitch.tv/megachopceo. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to encourage you and go right along with you in this journey. And in the meantime, to make sure that you don't miss our next video, please make sure you click like, subscribe, and smash that bell for notifications. And I'll see you next time.